Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very good video today. We have another video with transfer news. A lot of you guys have been loving this channel. We're just kind of basically like digesting all the stuff that's going on. I feel like this January is actually turning out to be one of the more interesting transfer windows. I just personally, I'm finding a lot of excitement in seeing what's happening, and we've had a lot go on in the last like 48 hours. Like, woke up today just with the craziest stuff going down. So if you guys enjoy the video, drop a thumbs up. You guys been enjoying the recent ones. I appreciate that. And we've got a lot. Tomorrow, we're probably going to have a reaction to the Arsenal United game, and specifically, we've got Barcelona Real Madrid tomorrow. So we're going to be talking about those two games tomorrow. I'm very excited. We've got a lot of football tomorrow. If you guys don't watch me, you guys probably watch my Twitch or YouTube. Either one. Tomorrow, guys, also, we're going to be watching the Kings League final. It's at noon Eastern time, 6 p.m. Europe, 5 p.m. UK. We're going to be live streaming the whole thing. So if you guys want to watch that, check it out. It's going to be a good time. You guys might have been seeing some of the TikToks of us watching it. I've been loving it. The Kings League is awesome. So anyways, we're going to be breaking down transfer news today. First one, we're talking about 3 stories today. They're all kind of massive, to be honest. Like, all these stories are pretty crazy. So we talked about, I did this right today, Kvaratskhelia. That was pretty good. Anyways, speaking about him, there was obviously a couple days back, situation where PSG looks like he wanted to leave the club, and PSG were one of the earlier teams to go out for him. And now, developing story today, PSG are going to get him. PSG are going to get him. We've had a couple reactions kind of coming out about this. Their requirement baffles me. Why would you spend 80 mil on him when you got Barcola? And look, I'm going to tell you why. Now, look, let's just break this down first of all. I do not like this transfer because I think just PSG have generally, as a football club in the world stage, fallen off, And I'm not just a casual. I'm not going to sit here and just say, oh, it's because they don't have Messi, Neymar, Mbappe now, right? And that's not even when they were at their best, right? They had so many unique and amazing players in that team over that last decade, even the previous decade. I don't know. There's something for me about PSG in the recent few years that they are just so much less of an interesting football club. And it's not a diss to PSG. It's more of a diss to a player of Kvaratskelia's caliber. Like, this was a guy that even with Georgia at the international stage, was playing so well. I feel like he's such a good player. And not only this, I have more respect overall in terms of the quality of the Italian league from top to bottom than the French league. I just think the Italian league is a more competitive league. And so for him to be leaving a current first place Napoli, they're in first place. I don't like it, man. I was looking at this to be a situation where can he upgrade to? We saw like the outside rumor with Liverpool. I don't know. Like, do you guys feel like this guy going from Napoli to PSG is really an upgrade? Now, look, the salary is going to be 4 to 5 times his current one. So maybe it's a situation where he can get paid by a lot and he doesn't have to go to Saudi. Because obviously Saudi is going to be a huge commitment, and there's a lot more stick with Saudi. Once players go to Saudi, the level, like, for the most part, falls off a little bit. It's just whatever people want to mask Saudi as whether it's top 7 league, whether it's top 20, it's just not the same as getting that. For me, I am a very believer in Spain, England, Italy, and Germany as the top level. That is where you need to go to play in the top level of football. We see it in the Champions League. I mean, PSG obviously had their runs on and off, and that's the exception from that league. But, just overall, I don't know. I don't like this one. I don't love this one. Now, going back to the previous tweet, why would PSG sign him if they have Barcola, right? Because Barcola has been probably, out of all the footballers in the world, one of the craziest just like replacements for Mbappe on the left. Like, how he's come in and just played this season. He's been unbelievable recently. My outside theory, we've heard some like things about how Enrique and him maybe not so much getting along. I don't know. There's been rumors. I've seen them. I'm not making them up. Maybe Barcola's getting sold. Maybe that's what's going on here. They're happy to pay this price for him, for Kvaratskhelia, because they're getting a player that they know is going to be very effective, very efficient, team-oriented, multiple position player. Maybe they're feeling like they're going to cash in on Barcola. Maybe, we don't know behind the scenes. Maybe Barcola is going somewhere massive pretty soon. We don't know, right? He's obviously a younger player that's played very well. I would assume that his transfer value is just around this price, if not more. So maybe they're wanting to cash in on that. I don't know. The move is a little confusing, but PSG is always going to be one of these teams. We see Rashford's rumored, right? And Rashford's always expensive. PSG's a team that's always linked with these players that are expensive because they can afford it. We've seen them over the years, break the bank to buy players. We've seen them buy Neymar. We've seen them get Messi, right? They really do and are able to buy certain caliber players. We've seen Ibrahimovic go there, right? So multiple players. We don't even need to list them all. Okay, that's the first one. Not too happy with the decision. I don't know. It's just I look, in this channel we speak my opinion. I'm not loving the move personally. Okay, this one just came out. I was streaming today. I was streaming FIFA today, and this happened, so I just wanted to digest this a little bit. Kyle Walker is asked to leave Man City. This is probably the first season I have seen Kyle Walker not look good. I don't know if people always will agree with my takes, but Kyle Walker over the years for me for Man City, yeah, he's had moments where he's been sloppy, but this guy has been such a formula to Man City's success. I think he's 34 now, so it's not super surprising that he's starting to slow down a little bit. He said 2 days ago in an interview today at press conference, Pep Guardiola said 2 days ago Kyle asked to explore the options to play abroad and end his career. So really, he's kind of reached that point where, look, guys, at the end of the day, these footballers are all humans, man. To perform at this level and be perfect and not make mistakes all the time, 24/7, a lot of pressure, a lot of wear and tear on that. A lot of wear and tear on that. So I'm not super surprised to see this. It felt like this is kind of how the season has been going for Kyle Walker. Where is he going to go next? Abroad means he's out of England, right? He's going somewhere else, whether it's Saudi, maybe he's going to go play in the MLS, right? The MLS is obviously very appealing to a lot of these players. We've seen Royce just recently go there. A lot of players go there recently, so maybe he's going to go do that. We will see, but it's definitely an end of an era with Man City. And look, this guy for me there was a couple players in the previous few years for Man City that were such a vital part of the reason that they were able to be Man City. I think he was one of the most important pieces. The amount of games that I watched Man City in knockouts, in important Prem games, get in trouble defensively, and this guy is just freaking full throttle out sprinting every player in the world, just getting back and defending and at least jockeying to a point where they could get out of the bad situation. He really helped Man City play the style they wanted to play, overcommit attacking wise. So, you know what? I have nothing bad to say about Kyle Walker. I think this season has been tough for him. I think he's played at such a high level. We've seen many times on social media, Kyle Walker was losing his mind. That's never a good sight when you start seeing a player let the media get to them, go at people. I feel like he probably feels overall a little underappreciated, would be my take on Kyle Walker for what he's been able to do for this football club. He's not a guy that's going to be pulling on all the stats. You know how it goes, right? So, I think he's maybe had enough. And obviously, as a Man City player, this season has not been easy, right? This team has had such a winning formula recently. And they've not been winning too much this season for their standards, right? They've been winning more than most teams, but anyways. So that's Kyle Walker. Looks like end of an era for him. When he says abroad, usually he's at the end. He's 34, it makes sense. Let's talk about this one. This is the last story we're going to talk about tonight. I'm only picking out transfer news that I actually feel like or moves and situations that are probably going to happen. I'm not going to be going on here and saying crazy stuff. I just want to talk about things that I actually think are in motion. Rashford seems to be very in motion. It's already been one of those situations that he's been kind of in and out of the lineup. He personally said he wants a new challenge. I'm not against it. I know the United fans are not too happy with him, but I feel like if you're a fan of a football club, if you have a player that just doesn't want to do it anymore, you can't force them, man. And they're not going to be themselves, They're not going to be themselves. They're not going to be ultimately really happy. It's a good example of me. When I post on this channel, guys, I love posting these videos, man. You guys who watch these videos, the 20, 30, 40,000 views we get, man, I am so thankful for that, right? I love talking about football. I love the sport. Recently, man, FC is driving me crazy, and I'm not liking it as much, right? So it's one of those where it's very refreshing to have new challenges, new chapters, new grinds. I can understand it. What a relation for me to Rashford, but I can understand why he wants a new challenge. And the news today we're going to talk about, Barcelona, I have seen it all over today, that they're actually really interested in a loan deal for him, which would make sense for them financially. I don't think they're going to be able to outright buy a player like Rashford. But that would be, I actually like that for Rashford. We've seen a couple, I've heard the talks about Milan. That one has been a little bit further than the Juve one. The Dortmund one, people have been saying is off. Out of all the teams available, Juve, AC Milan, Dortmund, and Barcelona, I think I don't love the Milan because of the players they have currently. Juventus is growing on me because I think Rashford ultimately in a counter style team is nuts. This dude in his peak when he was running at defenses 2v4 was cooking. So I like that. Barcelona, I could see him having success there. They just have a great team. There's no way you can't tell me if this guy goes from playing with the players he's with now to like, the Pedris, the Danny Olmos, the whoever you want to say, man, in that team. They play some really nice football. I think he would be very good there. And again, Dortmund is just such a high attacking team. And I've not seen a lot of players that were really, really, really talented attacking wise that went to the German league and weren't good. So out of all the teams available, I like Milan. Not much compared to the other four. I like other three. I like Juve. I like Dortmund. I like Barca a lot. I mean, out of all those four, Juve or Dortmund, for me, would probably be just the best overall fit for him. But saying that, Barcelona would be the coolest. I mean, imagine we could sit here in 2025 and watch Rashford play for Barcelona. And Rashford was such a player that came onto the scene so early in age that he's like not even that old. So, he's had up and down years, but he's definitely still got some gas in the tank. And anytime a player wants a new challenge, it makes for an interesting headline. So, let's see what happens with this in the future. Let's see where this deal moves. We will be commenting, guys, on a lot of stuff on this channel. So very interesting to see today. Looks like Kvaratskhelia is going to be going to PSG. Looks like Rashford is going to be actually doing this loan deal with one of these clubs. And Kyle Walker is done. So a lot of news coming out. It's going to be a very interesting day by day here, and we're going to keep covering it, guys. And thank you so much for all the support on the channel. I appreciate it. We will be having a Barca Real Madrid reaction tomorrow, man. So stay tuned for that, and we'll see you guys for that video. Bye-bye.